Congratulations, ACC champions, tournament MVP. I mean, Hannah, what a weekend for you guys.
Yes, it's true. Yes, it was. It was a tough weekend, but we were able to pull it through.
What was it like for you to be there as a freshman, to be experiencing all of this, to be in a lot of ways a leader on the court for your team? Talk about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly a blessing. I mean, I'm so happy where I'm at, and just like my teammates were all clicking at the right time, and we're just playing so well together, and just kind of being in that atmosphere was great. It was, especially in being like my first championship game like ever, even from high school, and to be playing for a championship in that kind of atmosphere. And it was just so exciting, and it being Coach Ivey's first championship as a head coach. It was just so many moments that just made that experience just phenomenal.
What was it like for you guys? I mean, you're playing back to back, and that's not easy. These aren't easy games. How do you recover quickly and focus and lock in on the next game?
Yeah, just taking care of our body. Obviously, we have a great, training staff, and so they made sure to, keep our bodies right, whether it was, ice bathing and then massages, and then like just Normatec, just things like that to constantly keep our bodies fresh and make sure our bodies are feeling good. Also, just locking in on the scale. They were quick turnarounds. Obviously, it was next day, it was a win, and now you're on to the next game. It's no more focusing on the last game. It's just on to the next, and so the coaching staff did a great job of, kind of preparing us for like next game, next game, next game. And obviously, I'm used to playing back-to-back games in high school. In my junior year, when we're playing AAU, and we're kind of traveling, so that was normal. But I haven't done that in a long time, and these games are a lot tougher than the AAU games. So playing against these grown women who are physical and they're aggressive, and you're constantly getting knocked down, it takes a lot on your body. But we have a great staff who helps take care of us.
So you mentioned there, I mean, this is your freshman year, Hannah. You are coming out, you were number 5 recruit, New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year. You had so many options. Why Notre Dame?
Yeah, Coach Ivey, for sure. I mean, she recruited me so hard, and of course, I went to third parties and asked, kind of, how's Coach Ivey? What is she like as a person? Obviously, you might not get the truthful answer from people who are kind of in the program. So of course, I went to third parties, and I got the same response every time. That Coach Ivey, she was a player's coach, and kind of like, what you see is what you're gonna get. And I mean, they were right. I mean, with Coach Ivey, what you see is what you're gonna get. And she's a player's coach, and she truly loves us. She truly loves her players, and she gives us freedom to just go play the game. And she's open to hearing me, especially as a point guard. And if I see something, kind of bringing it to her, she's opening to kind of like hearing it. And so, her just like especially when I come on my visit, I felt at home, and I'm a big family person. So, family is really big to me. So when I came on my visit, I felt like this is a family.
Family is important to you, and basketball's in your blood. Like, your family loves basketball. Both your mom and your dad have coached you. Your brothers, cousin have played. Do you remember the first time you picked up a ball and started playing around?
I don't remember the first time like training. I'm sure I would train before I actually stepped on the court to play a game. But I remember like my first game moment was I was in a rec league, and I was playing in this little tournament for like a little camp, and I didn't want to be there like at all. I was really just there for the Gatorade. I was excited for the game to be over and we go drink Gatorade, and that's really kind of what I was looking forward to. But I feel like that was like the first time I remember kind of picking up a basketball, and then I kind of started going every week, and I feel like I really like, oh hey, like I want to do this, like this is fun to me.
What was it like? What was that switch that made you start to fall in love with the game and want to pursue it, want to get better, want to train, want to make the sacrifices that you've had to make to get to where you
Yeah,
are?
I think the person who kind of ran the whole rec league, he came up with this nickname. They used to call me Buckets, and so I was like, oh, like that's kind of nice, kind of hearing that, like, oh, like she can, she gets buckets, whatever. So that stuck, and I was just like, oh, I think I kind of like this.
Well, you're continuing to live up to that name, so he must be proud now watching you. But something that's so great about your game, Hannah, is that you make an impact on both sides of the ball, right? You can shoot lights out, but your defense, girl, your defense, where did that mentality get instilled? Because I think so many players when they're younger, it's the points. it's the shots, things like that. And your
Mhm.
defense really sets you apart from others.
Yeah. I was always small. I was always like really small, like the runt of the litter. So it's like I didn't know how to score over bigger girls. So I had to play defense. That was the best way that, I could impact the game because I wasn't able to score over these girls who were so much taller than I didn't know how. And so kind of growing up, that was kind of always who I was. And then I was taught that, defense wins championships. Offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And so that kind of stuck with me and I kind of, ran with it. And I really took pride in my defense, ever since just getting stops. And then I felt like my defense is what led to my offense. I was able to get stops and just go out on transition and go get a layup. And so I think that also helps me bring my fire to the game. I'm able to, get steals and, kind of, bring that energy. I'm able to excite my teammates. And so, it takes a lot off my teammates too. They always tell me, yeah, her defense kind of relieves pressure for me when I'm getting steals. So
A steal like changes momentum. It takes,
oh, for sure. Yeah.
it really is a part of the game that just can change everything. With
Absolutely.
steals, I mean, the accolades, I had to write them all down. And then I was like, I can't even go into all of them because it's okay. I'm going to start. We have fastest women's Division I player to 100 career steals since 1999, passed the school record held by Skylar Diggins Smith for steals, most steals by a freshman in ACC history. That's just the start. So was this a goal of yours to kind of rack these up, or do you just kind of go out, follow the scout, and know that your play is going to bring these?
Yeah, I didn't have any expectations kind of coming into college. I was just here to play basketball. And I knew that, my defense was going to make an impact and kind of change, but I wasn't looking for any accolades or any awards or anything like that. And, I just go in, I'm excited to play, and I want to get steals. Like, I want to steal the ball. I want to play defense. I want to get stops. And so I'm playing really aggressive and, making the ball handler uncomfortable. And I'm able to, cause a turnover and things like that. But coming into college, I wasn't looking for anything. I just wanted to play ball.
One of the best parts about watching you, I mean, obviously your skill speaks for itself, but you're a great teammate and you get hyped for your teammates. You're there for their successes. Talk about this team, because I think this Notre Dame team is really, you guys are the definition of what it means to step up and to step into your role and to be there for each other. So what is this team like, and what was it like to step into it as a first year?
Yeah, everyone accepts their roles, gladly. And obviously, this is a team game. And, I want to see all my teammates succeed and, and do well. And so when they do something well, I'm always, cheering them on, and I'm always, excited for them. If they get an and one, then, I'm screaming, I'm hype. I'm trying to get everyone hype. And I mean, it's fun for me to be able to, see my teammates do well and kind of cheer them on, and just it made it so much easier stepping into college and like kind of feeling that trust that I had from my teammates. I mean, they're telling you to shoot the ball. And so kind of coming in and hearing an upperclassman say, hey, shoot the ball. Like, we want you to shoot the ball. I mean, it made everything so much easier, for me when they have so much trust in me, especially my coaches have so much trust in me, but just to know how much trust my teammates have in me, and they, kind of want me to score, and they want me to be that leader and kind of take on that role, and made everything so much easier kind of coming in and kind of taking on this role.
For a lot of freshmen, it kind of takes them a couple games, maybe a few months to get their feet under them. You came in hot game one, scoring that 31 points against South Carolina, not to mention in Paris. I mean, that's pretty cool. What was that like to play your first collegiate game in Paris and have that impact?
Yeah, it was a historical moment. Us two teams just being the first teams to ever travel to Paris and play the first game of collegiate basketball. And so just kind of coming in as a freshman and being a part of that moment, it speaks a lot. Obviously, it speaks a lot to how much the women's game has grown, and kind of seeing that evolve is just amazing. But like I said before, kind of that trust that my coaches and my teammates instilled in me, it made it so easy to go out for the first game and to kind of, take the game by the ears and just kind of go and just run and just really play my game. Coach Ivey, she made me so comfortable being able to come in and just play my game. She gives me so much freedom to go out and, create and just either get all the way to the basket or, just create for my teammates. And she just like, if they miss, you just run, try and create something first. If not, then bring it back out and set an offense up. And, that's my game. I love to just get out and run, try and go score quick and get back on defense. And if not, we'll set something up. And so she did a great job of just trusting me.
How did that game set your confidence for the season? Were you nervous going into that first game of who am I going to be on this team and for this team, or was that already decided and you went into that game already confident already from the team?
Yeah, I came in confident. I had no fear. I wasn't afraid. I just, it was nothing to be afraid of. I mean, we had nothing to lose. I mean, we're playing against South Carolina, the top team in the country. So it was just like, we have nothing to lose. Like, I want to win. And then I believe in my heart that, we have the pieces to win. So that's kind of the mindset I came out with. And, I feel like a lot of people would have been nervous, their first collegiate game. And, but I pray a lot. So I was, praying. I was asking God just for peace and just, to play well and that he would get glory, win or lose. And so just being able to go out and, put up 30 points, obviously it gave me a lot of confidence for the rest of the season. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see what I can do in the collegiate level. And then having like KD kind of tweet about me, like, Hannah Hidalgo, like Malaysia for Wally, stuff like that. And so, that was big for me. And I feel like it put a lot of confidence in me for the rest of the season.
So 2 things I want to double tap into there. First, biggest pinch me moment that you've had this season. You're breaking records, you're showing people who you are, what you're capable of, and people have commented. I mean, people have noticed. You've put the world on notice of who you are and who Notre Dame is. Has there been a pinch me moment of, I mean, Diana Taurasi kind of chatted with?
That was yeah, that was big. Having her come up to me after the game was big. But even somebody who's younger, I think that's more recent. Aaliyah Boston, she had commented on me saying that, Hannah's not getting, enough of this. And just to kind of see, she's from South Carolina and she kind of knows me. I'm like, oh, that was pretty big because I watched her obviously growing up and how great she was. And obviously not growing up, but watch her through her, collegiate years and seeing how great she was. I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool. So most recently her for sure, but obviously Diana Taurasi, like KD, of course, like I said, those are big too.
I love the smile on your face when you talk about that. That was just like, it's so cool, right? And so growing up, who did you look up to in the sport?
I started watching women's basketball late because I feel like I wasn't interested. And then once I really started watching it, I feel like that's when women's game really started to be put on the map. But I really started, I feel like Erin McDonald was the one that I was just like, wow, she made the game fun to watch. And kind of seeing her and how small she was and how she was able to score over bigger girls and just create and just still be a leader. And like, just her game was just like amazing to me. And seeing that run that Arizona kind of went on and how she kind of led that team to the championship, it was just like wow, like she's the one. And so that's kind of what I watched when I started watching.
The other thing I wanted to tap into is your faith. That's something that's a huge part of your life. How has that impacted your play and the way that you show up as a person on and off the court?
Yeah, I think it keeps me humble, of course, because I know that everything I have comes from Jesus Christ. And so I know that in an instant, everything can be, taken away because, the Bible says pride comes before a fall. And so obviously if I get prideful and, my head gets too big, I'm susceptible to fall. So it's just like, keeping humble and just giving all the glory to God for, all my accolades and, everything that I do. And it obviously keeps me humble. And then I see younger kids who are kind of looking up to me and I'm like, I was here once and, I want to go and kind of get back because I'm not a celebrity. I'm not too big to, give back or, go be, because obviously I'm a normal person, of course. And so just getting back to like the kids and just helping them or taking pictures with them or giving them autographs. And obviously it all comes from my faith and, my faith obviously keeps me humble.
I love that you recognize one of something that can keep you grounded and can keep you humble and can do that, because I think that's a huge part of the game, right? Is the highs, not getting too high and not getting too low. We hear a lot of that of reaching success, but also the impact that you're having on younger players. And I think that's women's basketball is having its well-deserved moment right now, right? People are paying attention and to see young girls and young athletes look up to you guys. Have you had a moment that has stuck with you of that interaction with the younger generations?
I think it was early in the season, and it was just like a whole school of girls kind of came, and I guess they were basketball players too, and they were saying like how they looked up to me, and just kind of hearing just like I feel like it's still a surreal moment, just kind of seeing all the kids and kind of hearing them like scream like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" Like I love watching you. I love the game. I think even still, it kind of like wow, like how much kids kind of like look up to me. It's still like means everything, and it's surreal to me still.
I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool. And I can't wait for March Madness. And we're going to get to that in a second. But I want to talk about something that Coach Ivey said about you. And she calls you the Sour Patch Kid because you are this sweet human with a heart of gold off the court. And you step onto the court and you've got some spice and some sourness and all of that. When does that switch happen before a game for you?
I think once I step on the court, like during warm-ups, I would say now, it depends. Like sometimes on warm-ups, I try to stay loose. I don't want to get like too tight. And then like other times on warm-ups, I'm like, okay, like let me lock in. So sometimes during the warm-ups, it sometimes depends. But I know like right when Coach Ivey, she starts going into her speech when we're in the huddle and they kind of announce our name, when we go back and sit down and she's drawing out the plays, when I'm like, okay, like kind of flip the switch and kind of like lock in. And then once the clock strikes zero, then I'm just like, okay, like back to normal.
You can turn it on and off. I love that. Where does that competitive nature, that tenacity come from?
I would say growing up, I was around my cousin a lot, DeAndre, and I was just watching him growing up and him playing. Like he played with this fire, like this different kind of dog that I like admire. And so I think watching that, I just kind of took pieces of that. And going into high school is when I really started to kind of implement that in my game, and I started to play with this fire. But just watching him grow up and that dog that he had in him, I was just like, oh, that's what I want. Seeing him dunk the ball and scream and clap and stuff like that, I was like, wow, this is awesome.
What does he think now when he watches?
He's proud. Oh, for sure. He's definitely proud for sure. I mean, he's always texting me and congratulating me, and yeah, he's proud for sure.
What are you, so coming into March Madness soon, you guys don't know who your first opponent is yet. You don't know the seed. Selection Sunday is going to be exciting and a thing, right? Mm-hmm. But what are you most looking forward to about this opportunity in this tournament?
Just to compete, I think, against different teams. Of course, we just got finished with the ACC and, playing all those teams again. But I'm excited to play, different competition and, the top dogs and kind of compete against them. I'm just excited to compete, of course.
And so you guys, you find out Sunday, and it's a quick turn, right? Like it's a quick, scouts have to happen fast, all of those things. How will you mentally prepare to start play later in the week?
Yeah, I think just locking in on the scout. Obviously, this is win or go home, and so just locking in every practice. We're gonna, be intentional with every practice, and like going hard and going game speed, and we're just gonna get better every practice, and kind of locking in the scout, knowing who does what, and obviously our coaches do a great job preparing us for that.
What about the team? Have you guys talked about approaches, and like, is there something that you do together that gets you hyped for a game and gets you locked in?
Before the game, okay, so first, before, we kind of go back into the locker room, we've been doing this, like, everybody says one thing that they're going to do for the game, and we hold ourselves accountable to what we said we're going to do. So someone might say, I'm going to, cheer and be loud on the bench. Somebody else might say, I'm going to box out every possession and get, every rebound. So we've been doing that every game, and I feel like that really helps us, hold ourselves accountable of, what we're going to do, what every person is going to do to help us win. And then also something fun that we do before every game, like we dance. Like we'll turn on music and we'll dance. Or like, Kylie she'll come in and we'll do no music and she'll dance. So we try and get hyped like that, just dancing and screaming and singing.
I love the intentionality there. And then the lightness, like you're saying, right? In the warm-ups, not getting too tight, not getting too tense, really bringing the energy and the focus when you need it. Who operates the aux cord? Who has music rights and privileges?
Kylie Watson, she's got all the music. That's her job.
Is there something, a non-negotiable for you on game days that you must do, whether it's with the team or individually?
Pray. I always pray before every game. I don't go a game without praying, so that's something that I do, whether it's, with my teammates or I always pray with my parents. Sometimes I pray with my team, and then most times, every time I pray with my parents before the games. But then also, a lot of times I listen to Christian music. Like, I'll listen to gospel before games, maybe lose, and then, of course, I call my parents and they pray.
What role have your parents? I mean, we mentioned a little bit earlier that your parents are both basketball coaches. Coached you at various times. What impact have they had on your play and on your role as a leader?
My parents are my biggest supporter. Obviously, my mom, my dad, they support me, every step of the way, and they support me the whole time. They made so many sacrifices for me, and just kind of seeing, the sacrifices they made for me, it makes me want to play, for them. And obviously, I want to win for them, and I want to be great, and being able to be a blessing to them because of all the sacrifices that they made for me. And so they're competitors too. Like, they compete with everything, whether it's a board game or like a video game. So they definitely instilled competition in me and my brothers because they're always competing, always.
Who's winning game night?
Either me, my mom, or my dad.
Okay. So
yeah.
No brothers. You're just tossing all of them out.
No. We're definitely winning game night for sure.
I love that. All right. I also want to talk about the hoops because this was so fun that for your candidacy for the ACC Player of the Year, the Hidalgo hoops were sent out. So what was the significance of that for you?
And there's no backstory to my hoops. I don't know when I started wearing them, but I love the look. I love the style. And I feel like it gives me, like, obviously on the court, like, I'm really like aggressive, and I'm like all this like loud and everything. And I feel like off the court, like, my hoops give me this like girly look that I don't have on the court, like, obviously, because it's completely different. So when I'm off the court, I'm able to, put my hoop earrings in or put my, my other earrings in. So that's something that I wear still every single day. And so obviously our media team kind of saw that, and they took that and said, like, this is you. So why not, make something out of it and kind of send it out to people to vote for you.
What's your best advice to younger athletes who want to make their dreams come true, whether it's on the basketball court or in something else, but like you, chase something that they're so passionate about?
I say keep your circle small and don't listen to like outside noise, because especially even now, I'm still realizing like there's a lot of outside noise, and there's a lot of people that are going to be saying stuff, and people are going to love you, and then a lot of people are going to hate you. So it's just a matter of just kind of staying in tune with the people in your circle and not listening to all the outside noise, because it could really get to your head.
And we talk here about your passion for basketball. We talk here about your passion and love for your family, how that's centered you. We talk about your faith. What is something that people don't know about you that you want them to know?
I would say I like to dance, and I like to bake. I'm a foodie, so I love any type of food. I love to eat, and I'm smaller, so it might not look like it, but I love to eat all different kinds of food, all different kinds of sweets. And sometimes I bake. I bake like every day during COVID. Now during the basketball season, it's a little tighter, so I don't get that opportunity. But that's why I like it.
What's the best thing you bake?
I baked like cake from scratch.
Oh.
My dad made me bake a cake for his birthday, so I did that too.
Chocolate, vanilla, what are we?
No, vanilla and buttercream icing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. My final question for you, Hannah, I ask everyone, do you have a mantra that you lean on when days get tough?
Probably a Bible scripture that says, "Be strong and courageous." That's something that, like, when things get tough, I'm always telling myself, not to, be afraid, and, just to kind of be strong, and, God's got me, just to have courage, and to, kind of keep enduring, keep finishing the race.
Well, it has been such a fun season watching you blossom at Notre Dame. The best is still to come for you. I'm sure of that. Before I let you go, I do want to ask, just seeing your passion, you smile through this, and your love of the game and family and all of it. What has been the most fun part of this season so far?
Not even basketball. I would say the connections that I built, like the relationships that I built. I think my relationships are going to last a lifetime here, and just it means everything with just kind of having these relationships that I have here and that I've built here, because I'm at a place where even if I were to get injured, like I'm happy where I'm at. And I know when I was going through the recruitment process, somebody told me that even if you get injured, you want to be at a place where you're still happy to be at if you're not playing ball. Like you don't want basketball to be, your sole happiness. And I really feel that here with the connections that I built, that even if I were to get hurt, I'm still happy where I'm at.
That's so awesome. And that's hard to do, especially your freshman year, is to build those. So congratulations on all of your successes so far, all of the accolades. But most importantly, congratulations on finding your spot. And we're excited for all that's to come. So good luck in the tournament. We'll be rooting for you.
Thank you so much.